Hey, it's Harvey.
And it's Todd.
And we are
Renegades. I remember reading an article a few years ago, and it was called Rules of the Road, 10 Tips for Group Run Etiquette. So, Harvey, I'm going to test you here. How about this? I'll give you the title.
Okay.
And you can expand on it, what you think about it. And then I'll tie it in to see if this matches what the authors thought here.
Yeah.
This was authored by Fleet Feet, Caroline Bermel, July 18th, 2023. Put that in the show notes.
Renegade is what happens when two ordinary friends dare to practice the lost art of conversation to better understand what it means to be a runner, a human. Should we follow convention and play by the rules? Or would it be better to trust our guts? Each episode, you'll learn from the experts, the underdogs, the elites and non-elites, those doing big things, all in that curious quest of being just a little bit better tomorrow. In a world of runners, be a renegade.
Hey, Tito, this is for you. Cheers.
Tito, you should really try the Run Wild, Tito.
Got the Run Wild. I got the Athletic Light. I'm trying to get back into shape, Harvey. Cheers.
I did just use your discount code and ordered myself a case, so I'm going to be fully stocked up on Athletic Brew here in the next couple days.
Well, I'm glad the discount code worked. That's always good to hear. I just like it because you can train and you don't miss your nights with bad sleep. You have a couple beers. You can, I don't know, you can ruin your sleep. And if you're training all week and all month and all year for something and you're not getting good sleep, it's not really worth it. But you can still enjoy the nice beer taste in a non-alcoholic format. That's what I like about Athletic.
That's true. And I find a lot of these clubs, including the club that we have, it's very social. You go out and you want to have a few beers after or something like that. Well, I'm noticing that a lot of these bars and restaurants are starting to carry products similar to Athletic Brew, if not Athletic Brew. So it's a great option for us.
Use the code TODDM20 to save 20% off your Athletic Brewing order. Athletic Brewing, it's a fit for all times.
Sunday, September 14th, 2025. What is that date all about, Harvey?
That's a date you want to put on your calendar. That's something you don't want to miss. That's fast, flat, scenic racing coming back to Windsor, Ontario, Canada. The Windsor Waterfront Half Marathon and 5K.
I'm so excited for this race because there's a history of big city racing in the Windsor, Essex area, but not for a few years. Coming back with a half marathon and a 5K. And I know Ryan and the team wants to make it into a whole weekend in the future, but for the first year, a half marathon and 5K in September, right at the peak of your marathon training, you want to test yourself a few weeks out before your big race. This is the race for you.
Yeah, I'm super excited to be racing here on what I would call our home turf because it's the closest we have to home. I had the opportunity to test out the course. It is super fast, super flat. Obviously, I was just doing a training run, but I am so excited about this course. I'm ready to set my personal best.
Talk to us about this course. So you met up with the crew. I think you met up with the other ambassadors for the Windsor Waterfront.
A couple of the ambassadors were there, yeah, and then a couple of people just from the general public. So this race starts right in front of Casino Windsor.
Okay.
It's right at the beautiful waterfall, right on Riverside Drive. The roads will be closed off. You start off, if you're doing the 5K, you're headed towards the train station. So you get to run past the Hiram Walker. You get to run past a lot of the historical parts on that east end of the course. So you go out for about 2.5K, you turn around, you come back, you end up going down towards the waterfront and finishing right there on the waterfront plaza, right in the front of the river. In the backdrop, you see everything in the backdrop. You see all the U.S. skyline, the Rensen, all those beautiful buildings that you see there. So that's the 5K course.
That's the 5K course. Okay. So down Riverside Drive, 2.5K. turn around, come back, finish at the waterfront plaza.
Yes.
Beautiful. Now, the half marathon course.
So
do you end up going farther down Riverside Drive?
The half marathon course, you start out with the 5K course. Instead of going down to the river at the finish, you continue down Riverside Drive, going west into Sandwich Town. You do beautiful Sandwich Town. You go past that little roundabout, you turn around. I forget which street it is, but you do a turnaround, head back, do the 5K again. So it's familiar turf. You know what you're up against because you already ran it at the beginning of the race. And then down to the waterfront plaza for a finish.
Well, I remember Ryan talking about it. The course makes a lot of sense, and there's not a single hill at all. This is flat. You're following the Detroit River. It's flat. And he was mentioning that this is a great course because the out and back style can really cut down on the cost to bring a race back. You're trying to organize a race, and there could be huge cost if you end up having to shut down 21 kilometers of roads and get the firefighters and the police and EMS, everybody to help out. But to come with a really tight, logistically wise course that's flat, there's going to be some records. I think there's going to be some records broken. It's the first ones.
If you are prepared for this race, there's no reason why you can't get your personal best. And if it's your first race, this is going to get you hooked on racing. I love that they're using this as a stepping stone to possibly bring a marathon to Windsor in the future. I'm super excited about it. It reminds me of when the Detroit Marathon used to start in Windsor and end in Detroit. It's bringing the racing back to Windsor, bringing it back to Essex County. It's exciting. And running has not been as popular as it is now, ever. There is, just in Windsor, there's probably 6, 7, 8 running clubs in Windsor. And I'm not even counting the smaller clubs. There's one in Amherstburg, one in LaSalle. I just found out there's a few of them at the University of Windsor. Certain courses or departments have their own running clubs, I've found on social media in the last bit. And it's blowing my mind how into running people are.
Well, let's unpack that for a second. When I've always heard about run clubs, and you know what? I think when we first started running for fun, I started the Wheatley Run Club, and there was a couple people that would show up every now and then, and it was more just for fun and whatnot. But then I really got into Run Club when you brought and created the Shores of Erie Run Club.
About a year and a half ago, yeah. So we created the Shores of Erie Run Club because we didn't have anything here in the Leamington, Kingsville area. And I was leaving work with a friend trying to shoot up to Windsor for a 6 o'clock run. And we finish work at 5 o'clock. So you have an hour. And when we have traffic, an hour is pushing it to get to Sandwich Town. So we just decided, you know what? I love running with the other clubs. I love running with Sandwich Beer Runners and Dub City. Those are the ones that I have run with in the past. I would love to be able to run with a lot of these other ones, Warm Up Collection, Ks and Lattes, and so on and so on. But we didn't have enough time to get to the city on a weekday to enjoy the run. It was stressful getting there. So we decided we needed to make our own club.
What do you think is the appeal to the Run Club? Because folks listening in here, we live in a small town. You know what? Leamington's what? How many thousand people? 20,000?
It is a smaller town for sure, yeah.
And you're getting 40 to 50 people out on a Wednesday night to go for a run and have a couple pops afterwards and shoot the breeze. How are you getting that many people to come out?
Well, I think the appeal is now that there's no pressure. People, they don't have the expectation. I don't expect someone to come out and run a 20-minute 5K. I expect someone to come out, do what they want to do, meet me back at the restaurant or bar, and we're going to have a drink and celebrate what you've done. Next week, hopefully you go a little bit farther or you push a little bit harder. But if you don't, it's no big deal. It doesn't matter. We're there to support each other, and we want running to grow. We want you to grow when you're running.
Right. I'm totally with you. And I was thinking back, I remember reading an article a few years ago, and it was called Rules of the Road, 10 Tips for Group Run Etiquette. So Harvey, I'm going to test you here. So what are the rules? What are the key rules of group run etiquette, if I can even pronounce that?
So
first, you should be able to say it.
You want me to try and guess what the rules are for group run etiquette?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'll give it a go.
There's 10 of them. There's 10
of them. So one of the rules or etiquette for group run is nobody talks about group run.
The first rule of group run is there is no group run.
There is no group run.
How about this? I'll give you the title.
Okay.
And you can expand on it, what you think about it, and then I'll tie it in to see if this matches what the authors thought here.
Yeah.
Okay. This was authored by Fleet Feet, Caroline Bermel, July 18th, 2023. Put that in the show notes. Okay, the first one. Arrive on time. Text someone if you need them to wait for you. I got a fun story about this, but what do you think about that? All right.
So I think that's very good etiquette for Run Club. You don't want to keep people waiting, and we don't mind if we have to stall for 5 minutes. We'll stall for 5 minutes because we are going to get a group photo, and I want to make sure everybody's in it. I'm going to post it on social media, and without saying it, I'm going to say, look, we had 25 people, 30 people show up to our group run. Shores of Erie Run Club is amazing.
I like it. I think it just makes sense. I'm probably the guy that's always in the last minute to Run Club. So I think it was this September. It was like a Wednesday night, and there was a meetup. The group run was going to be in Point Pelee. So I was running a little bit late, and I said, well, you know what? I'll park in the parking lot, and I kind of know where they're going to be running. I'll try to find them. And I went running all around Point Pelee, like probably 10K, calling out group run. I was calling, group run. I was shouting. I couldn't find them because they were all at the bar. They went to the bar early.
They finished up and without you, and hasta la vista. See you, Todd. Todd who?
The problem with Point Pelee is there's no reception. So I remember texting you because you were on duty that night. I'm like, hey, Harvey, where's Run Club? And you're like, I think that they're at the bar already. Okay, the second rule. Don't leave the slowest runner behind.
Never leave the slowest runner behind. No, That's will. Important. From time to time, if I don't have a workout for myself, if we have somebody new or somebody slower, I don't mind running with them, not one bit. First of all, it slows me down, which I have a hard time doing. You know that, Todd. I like to go out there and I like to bust it all the time.
He does.
I don't have the 80 and the 80-20. I can't figure that out. So it actually helps me to have a slower runner. But I also have to get that in my head that I have to run slow with them and not get them to speed up. So never leave the slowest runner behind. I agree with that. I have a hard time with that.
Yeah, like the times I've gone to Run Club, it's usually in the evening after I would have done my lunch run, because I like to run at lunch on Wednesdays because I'm able to work from home on those days. I'm able to get a good quality workout in. And so I'm at Run Club just for fun, just to have a shakeout. And I noticed that there's probably the shyer people. They've just started running. They're new to running, and they feel that they're outmatched. And listen, we're all runners, and we can all run slow. We can. It may be harder for faster runners, but we all can. So find the slowest runner and run with them. And one thing I always keep in my mind, I'll be the slowest runner. I'll pull up the back. And I don't mind being at the very back. I put a lot of miles in, so people are like, hey, why are you running so slow? And it's like, it's not about that. You just want to meet people and encourage them and get them to get the running bug. That's what I think.
That's true. Another problem that I have with that is sometimes I like to run ahead get my phone out, start recording
Take
people.
photos. Yeah,
Hey,
yeah.
so I can post it again on social media. I want people to know about our run club. I want people to join our run club. I want them to come out. I want them to have fun. I want so many people to come out to run club that when we go to these establishments, they don't know what to do with us because we have so many people. And I want people talking about run club. I will give you an example of that, Todd. We were running through Kingsville, the next town over here. We were running through Kingsville one night. I believe it was nighttime. We had all our vests on and stuff like that. Well, Kingsville has a Facebook group similar to all these other municipalities, like a watch group, whatever. What's going on in town? Somebody sent a message. Does anybody know if there's a local run group running around here? And by the end of the day, we had 5 new members, 5 new followers on Facebook, which at that time, that was rare for us to get 5 new members like that. So I want people to know about the club. I want them to come out.
Yeah. That's it. Yeah. And what's funny is I find that the slower runners, they're always apologizing. They're like, "Oh, I'm sorry, you're out running." I'm like, "Don't apologize. Like this is all about having fun." I treat it as sometimes I wear my Shama sandals and just for fun, shake out, a little bit active recovery. I know this deep down in my heart. You can't run too slow. You can't. You can run too fast and get yourself in a lot of trouble. We've had examples of that in our lives, but I don't think I've ever gotten into trouble running too slow. So I would say if you're new to Run Club, never apologize for running slow. And for the Run Club veterans, be encouraging. Run with the new runners. Show them that you don't have to run fast. It's not about 5-minute kilometers or 4-minute kilometers or 7-minute miles. There are times for that. That can be your Run Club workout night if you have a Run Club workout night or something like that.
Yeah, similar to what the Blue Heron Blazers do. The Blue Heron Blazers, Ryan is a big guy for when it's time to work out, it's time to work out. But I think you should be part of a run club and go out and do the social runs.
Yep, absolutely. Okay, this is the third one. This is the third tip here. Follow the traffic rules.
Well, not only follow the traffic rules because you want to be safe, but don't assume that just because you have the right of way that everybody else is going to give you the right of way. So if you have a green light, doesn't mean that car that's turning right is going to stop and look for you. You got to be careful for that. So definitely follow the traffic rules. Don't hog the road and be careful because we don't want anybody getting hurt. Like that's not what it's all about.
That's right. And when you're in a group of 20, 30, 40 runners, for sure, it's going to freak out some of the drivers. They're going to be like, what are these people doing? And usually you're in a town because you're running from a bar, maybe around a block, a couple blocks. There's not as many trails in the downtown cores. So you're going to be on the roads a little bit. So for sure, yeah, I say follow those rules, stop at the stoplights. It kind of goes with number 4. Number 4 is make sure you're visible to drivers. You touched on this earlier about night runs, wearing lights.
Yes, I'm bad at it when I know there's street lights. I don't wear my vest. I have so many lights. We all have them. It's just a matter of putting them on. I get lazy. Don't be lazy, Harvey. Put them on.
Put them on, Harvey. Well, I think especially for new runners, I think inherently some of us, we get to know this over time, but just make sure that you're making eye contact with drivers.
For sure.
And when you're in a large group, and if you're an experienced runner, like you can just kind of shake your head out a little bit to let the car know that, hey, I recognize you. I'm with you. Yield to the car. Let the cars go. That's a battle you're not going to win. But it's important. Visibility, like especially, hey, we live in the Northern Hemisphere here. So daylight's starting to get a little bit longer. I think tonight it got dark, pitch black by like 5:50. I was out for a run, went through the park, but on the way in, I had my high vis lights on and my headlamp, and then there's no cars in the park, and then the light went out and it got really dark. So I started getting worried that the animals were going to get me, but they didn't.
Yeah, and you touched on making the eye contact and stuff with drivers, but another thing that goes along with that is I'm always courteous to drivers. When I see them stop, when I see them waiting to turn, I always give them a wave like, hey, you know what? I appreciate what you're doing. I know you could run me over right now, but thanks for not.
Hey, Renegades. We have an excellent friend of the podcast, Path Projects. Founded in 2018, they're focused on functional designs, innovative materials, and apparel that looks great in the city and gear that excels on the most grueling of trails. They offer a complete range of technical gear and running apparel for today's modern endurance athletes. And they're constantly innovating. They brought us technical tees with their Tensolite T19 material. It's jersey-like, it's soft, the perfect fit, and it performs. For our Renegade listeners, use the code TRP10 for 10% off your order for a limited time.
All right, number 5, bring your own water.
Here's another thing I am bad at, because I will go without water. But definitely bring your own water. You don't want to be sharing water or relying on somebody else for water when you're out there. And especially in our heat, in our summer heat, it could get warm. You're not going to think that you need water, but you do need water. It could just be a short run, and you're going to dehydrate.
So are you telling me that the Shores of Erie Run Club don't put out aid stations for their run?
We try. We have a big jug, like a 5-liter jug or whatever, and we try and fill it with ice water, but only when it's warm, really.
Yeah. Well, I think that's a kind of important thing, especially for new runners, is running club. What are we talking about? 30 minutes, 45 minutes? You don't need water. You really don't. Like the human body, if you're breathing easy, breathing through your nose, moving at a very zone 1 easy pace, you can run for an hour without water. There's nothing to worry about. Even in the hot summer, you can probably make a good 30 to 45 minute run without water.
For sure.
Then you can worry about getting rehydrated afterwards. This saves the weight, saves the hassle.
Get rehydrated after.
Okay, number 6. I like this one. Don't give someone unsolicited feedback on their running form.
For sure. I know sometimes you want to just peek your, for myself, I'll see someone running by the house and I want to peek my head out the window and try and give them advice right off of that. But everybody has their own running form and it might work for them. For an example would be heel striking. They said for so many years, heel striking's bad for you. It's bad for you. But if that's somebody's natural foot strike, it could be worse for them to try and change it. So you telling them that not only could be worse for them, it could be worse mentally for them too, because then they're trying to think about it and it's gonna screw them up. Unless they ask for it. If they say, hey, like you and I, Todd, used to go for runs in the point, and we'd record each other's runs and say, like, look at the foot strike here. That was our choice to try and change that, but that took so long. I know for myself, I still struggle with it from time to time. Running tonight, I tried to concentrate on get your foot down faster, put your foot down faster, because I had some speed intervals today. So I tried to get my foot down faster. When I got my foot down faster, my pace increased instantly by itself without me doing anything else. But that's not my natural foot strike. So I'm consciously trying to do that, knowing that I have to be careful because I don't want to injure myself doing it as well.
Yep. Well, I think the key there was when you and I run together, we're soliciting, we're asking for that. There's a purpose to it. At Run Club, unless someone asks you unsolicited feedback, like it's funny because it says unsolicited advice can come across as condescending and in some cases downright rude. Absolutely. Like who is anybody at Run Club to unsolicitedly coach anybody else?
By the way, are you sure you know how to run?
Now, though, I will say this, though. I do think from my experience at Run Club, there are some of the agitators out there who are, trying to get your goat to like get your racing because they're the type A. They're, You know who I'm talking about if you're listening to the podcast. They're always trying to race you,
For sure.
but they do it in a good way. It's for fun.
Yeah, exactly. That's part of Run Club as well. Is we're all there for fun. We're there to joke. We're there to make each other laugh.
I think most of the questions I usually get when I do make it to Run Club, I'm not able to make it there that often, and it's more when the weather's nicer and I wear my Shama sandals. Everyone's like, "How do you run in those?" And I'm like,
yeah,
"How
for
not?
sure.
Listen to episode 6 with Josh Stiles. It'll tell you everything you need to know about running." Well, let me check it out if it actually is episode 6. If it is, I'm surprised at myself.
You're right on.
It might be.
I don't.
But yeah, that's the only question I usually get. Would be like, "How do you run in sandals?" And it's like, well, you run just like you normally run, and stop thinking about it. Because what you said, there's so much truth in that. When you think about running form, your running form messes up. It really does. It probably would have been. I remember this. You and I were out here in Wheatley for a run. I think it was around the fall. I was hurt. I think we just got done our first Detroit. And you're like, you know what? You said, I'm going to try working on switching from a heel strike to a midfoot strike. It's the first time I ever heard that in my entire life. I'm like, what is that? So I went after the run, I Googled it. And that's when I'm like, oh, how can I do it now? I got a little bit into Chi running. And then I read that book and I went and took a Chi running course. Mm-hmm. And it was just a 4-hour course, but meeting a gentleman, his name was Richard up in Sarnia. It was fantastic because once he started teaching you like the shoulder posture and the lean and everything, it made the book come to life. And it took probably 3 years of like really trying to change my foot strike. But I had to, because if I would have kept heel striking, I would have had that plantar fasciitis forever. So I had to. So it wasn't working for me. You're right. If you're running and you're a heel striker and you're not hurt,
if it works for you, keep doing it.
Keep doing it. You don't need to worry about it. If you're hurt, what do you got to lose? That's what Dr. Marco Gazella always told us.
Mm-hmm, for sure.
Okay. Number 7. Don't play your music out loud in the group.
People want to, just because you like music. Just because you like that music doesn't mean everybody's going to like that music. Some people like to run
with music, Harv?
If they do, it's typically headphones. I don't mind it when people play music out loud because I can listen to just about anything. But generally, it's if people want to listen to music, they're going to bring their own music.
Yep.
But I am okay with it, but some people aren't.
Well, maybe I'll have the unpopular opinion here. You're going to Run Club to chat. Leave the music at home. You don't need any music at this run. This is the time to go and meet somebody, ask some questions, see what got them into running. What do they love about running? What's coming up in their year? What are they excited for? Like really make that connection. Right. And if you got music on, you're not really doing that. It's a little hard to do.
Yeah, for sure.
Number 8, check before bringing your stroller or your dog.
Oh, well,
what do you think about that?
Some run clubs, I would say not any of ours here in Windsor-Essex County, but some run clubs may not be stroller or dog friendly. We are both. We have had both. We've had strollers. We've had dogs. We appreciate the dogs and the strollers. The only problem with the dogs is if we go to an establishment afterwards, unless we're outdoors, we're not going to be able to bring these dogs in. Strollers, no problem. I know there is a gentleman in the city that runs with a stroller, and his daughter runs in the stroller, and it's a great thing. Everybody looks forward to it. So, yeah, definitely. Some clubs might not like it. We don't care. We're for it. I'd rather you come out and bring your stroller or your dog.
I totally agree with you, and that's the inclusiveness of it is. Come on out. Whatever is preventing you from coming out, make it part of it. If you have a dog and you don't want to leave the dog at home, bring the dog to the run club. The dog's going to love running. I always like running with dogs. If you ever run with a dog and just look at them, it's effortless. They're out just relaxing. There's not any like tension in their body, and they're fast. They got the great foot strike. They're smiling all the time.
They love it.
They love it. And you're right. You could have a stroller. You could have someone who needs assistance. Make them a part of it because it's all about the community. The one thing that we've loved about the Renegade podcast, we've had 30 guests come on over the last year. And we've had the best of the best come on. And what every single one of them talks about is they come on to the podcast just because that's who they are. They want to share their knowledge with runners and give back to the running community. But they always mention that they just love the community aspect of it. And that's what I like more about the trail running community than necessarily the road running community. The trail running community, you're moving a little bit slower on the trails. The trails are tough and you're in nature. You can connect better. I find road running, you're really pushing yourself to the all because you're on a flat track, you're out for speed and whatnot. So it's two different cultures. There's some commonalities I like, but I just like that trail culture and it's really inclusive. So I like hearing that about the Shores of Erie Run Club.
Yeah, I don't care if you're pushing a stroller, bringing your dogs, or even pushing a shopping cart. Just come out.
Just come out. And you know what? The bars that we attend and the establishments afterwards, the dog likes a beer. The dog can definitely drink a beer.
Yeah, for sure.
I know. I got to bring Cleo one night because she'd pound a beer afterwards. Then she'd want another one.
Yeah,
we can give
exactly.
her an athletic brew.
There you go. Yeah.
Okay. Number 9 says, respect other runners and pedestrians.
Respect other runners and pedestrians.
It says, believe it or not, your running buddies aren't the only people using the road. When you're running with a group, make sure you move to a single file as you're passing someone or if you need to pass. That's good. Yeah. Like if you're out with a bunch of runners and you're coming across people walking on the path, you don't want to overtake them and overwhelm them. So you just.
No, for sure. And you want to be good, good citizens, good to the community. The community could recognize the club one day and say, hey, look, that's that Shores of Erie Run Club or whatever other club we're talking about here, right? You could have a article in the paper. You could be on the news. You could be on a podcast that somebody's watching that's from that community. And you don't want any negativity to be put upon your club. It's no different than the way you would act in the community and you're representing your employer or something like that, right? You don't want to cast any negativity on the club. The club's a positive thing. We actually run down the street and we say hi to people. Sometimes we joke around with people and we say, hey, you want to come run with us? Let's go. Or even we did a pub crawl a couple weeks back and we stopped at one of the Legions and we tried to gather up the people as a joke. We're like, come on, let's come finish running with us. We're almost done. We got one more stop. And they got a pretty big giggle out of that, right? So we want to be a positive part of the community.
Absolutely. Yeah, you touched on it. I can't say it any better. You want to be a positive part of the community. Number 10, don't spit or blow snot on the other runners. Now, I think that goes without saying. You're not supposed to spit on the other runners.
On the other runners. Yeah,
but in general,
I mean, some people, you have to do it. They can't control it, right? So if you're doing it, you got to be careful where you're doing it. And I don't think that needs any explanation at all.
Well, I think along that, Harvey, you run with me a lot. So you know me, I'm a burper. I'm always burping. But yeah, the time of year, you can blow some snot rockets. And if you're going to just slow down, go off to the side, take care of your business, then come back.
That reminds me of a story from a while back here. We used to run these trail runs, the Crazy 8 runs. And I remember getting behind this lady in the trail and all you heard was her passing gas the whole time. And I'm right behind her. And I thought, like, is this normal? And when you Google it, it is normal.
It's normal. It's definitely normal.
We do.
You're getting those bowels shooken up. They're getting alive.
Runners fart. Believe it or not, runners are human. They fart.
Absolutely. Well, do you have any more tips? That's what this article from Fleet Feet had. Do you have any etiquette tips that you've seen over the maybe do's and don'ts of Run Club?
A very good do is buy the group coordinator, a beer. That's a very good, yeah.
Yes,
or
I concur with that.
Co-founder, whatever you want to call it, because obviously I did not do it myself. So yeah, the co-founders, you buy them a beer.
Okay. Oh, what about a pair of running shoes? Do you buy them a pair of running shoes?
I don't know. That might be pushing the limits. Maybe you can help buy them a pair of running shoes.
That's right.
Get together with your friends and buy a pair of shoes. No, I don't need any more shoes right now, unless Kyle's listening.
Yeah, Ultra Kyle. You know what? You can hook us up anytime. If you need some Ultra shoes to test out, we're more than willing testers.
Yes.
I think you mentioned that he maybe has some King MTs for us coming up in the future.
Yeah, I'm excited about that.
Absolutely.
Can't wait to try them out.
I started looking through my stockade of Ultra shoes back when Ultra had the ambassadors for Canada. And I noticed I have 2 pairs of Vanished Carbon 1s left, brand new. So I'm like, wow, I thought I only had 1 pair left, but I got 2. So I think I'm going to give that pair to Uncle Mark to see if we can't get some running bug in him to sign up to a race. And then I found I had a pair of Vanished Tempos that I didn't know I had. I'm like, oh, this is fantastic. And Jen's like, you have too many shoes. And I'm like, I never have enough shoes.
Don't. You must have bought some of those. I know you went to the States and picked up a few when they weren't available here in Canada. So I wouldn't doubt that. I mean, don't tell Jen, but you probably did buy a pair or 2.
Probably. We bought a lot.
Yeah,
well, I've definitely supported ultra running and definitely supported Two Rivers Treads. They have the best collection. If you ever get a chance to go down to West Virginia, into Ranson, West Virginia, Two Rivers Treads, Dr. Mark Cugazella's store. It's the nation's first and the best minimalist footwear store you'll ever see. They got Palooza shoes. They got Ultra. They got like a great selection of Ultra. They got Lems. They got Astrals. They got shoes that you never even thought of before. And not just running shoes, like everyday life shoes. So it's a pretty cool store. So if you're ever down in West Virginia, you can support Two Rivers Treads. Yeah. And if you're in the Windsor Essex region, go check out the Running Factory. Kyle at the Running Factory, 2 locations on Riverside Drive and Walker Road.
Definitely check them out.
Absolutely. Well, is there any parting knowledge or anything we want to offer to the Renegade listeners about Run Club?
If you're not in a run club, I highly suggest that you find a local run club. They are everywhere, and they are all more than welcome to have you sign up or join them. Most of them are fee-free, as we are, as all the local run clubs are here. Find one that suits you, though. There are some that are designed to push you, and there are some that are designed for you to come out and have fun. Find a club that suits you. Find the crowd that suits you. If you go to Run Club and you find that maybe you're not meshing with the people, find another run club, because there's something wrong, and you're going to find a club that's going to accept you, that's going to teach you, that's going to encourage you. I'm trying to encourage people all the time to reach their goals. Some of them are harder to encourage than others, but it doesn't mean I stop. I keep going. And they're members of the club. They're people that I see all the time. And that's part of what it's all about, is trying to get people to get into the running community and enjoy it. It's not supposed to be a stressful thing. It's not supposed to be a chore to go for a run. It's supposed to be fun. We're just trying to encourage people. You will find your group. And if you have a hard time finding your group, find me on social media, Ultra_Harvey. I will try and help find you a group, because I know there's one out there for everybody.
Well, I think it speaks. You're right. Like, there's a running boom that's happened for the last 2 years. Coming out of COVID, the lockdowns, all that stuff, which seems so long ago. I think people were just pent up and they were running by themselves to get a little bit of connection, a little bit of exercise. And then it caught on, the community caught on, the social aspect of it. And there's a running boom. You look at any marathon, any race, record number of people signing up. And if you want to be a runner, start to run. The second you take your first step, congratulations, you're a runner. You don't have to run fast. You don't have to run far. And if you are a runner and you're looking to run fast and far and want your personal best, the secret is you got to run a lot. And Run Club's a good way to run a lot, nice and easy. And like you said, Harvey, there's lots of different run clubs out there to suit your style. If you want a social aspect, find a social club. If you're looking to get pushed, yeah, there's those clubs out there, those groups that'll help push you to your personal best because they'll teach you how to train and teach you how to race. I think that's important.
That's very important. And just to add to what you said, Todd, about the racing boom, 2024 was the first year, I believe, ever that the Detroit Free Press Marathon sold out in every event. So we're talking the mile, the 5K, the international half, the US only half, the full marathon. Every single race sold out. People were trying to sell bibs online. It became a problem because people were trying to sell fake bibs online. So this is a race, this is a running boom, and I don't think it's going to end anytime soon. We're not there. It's going to keep going. It's going to keep growing. And if you're not on board right now, I bet you a lot of people that are not on board will be on board shortly, because I still get people that I never thought would be running in my life. And they're sending me a message and they're saying, hey, I heard about this race. Do you think I have enough time to train for this race? Yes, you have enough time to train for that race. Get out there, start moving. Just make sure you do something and not go sit on the couch.
You can sit on the couch after the run.
That's right.
And after Run Club.
And you stretch. We should stretch. We're bad at stretching.
Yeah.
Runners are bad at stretching. Stretch. It makes you feel good.
Yeah. Well, the only stretch I like to do the Dr. Lawrence Van Lingen Awesomizer. That's a pretty good stretch. Because it's not really a stretch, it's more mobility. I hate stretching. But you know what, Harvey? I think you nailed it. I think we nailed it with the Run Club. You're doing a great job. The shores of your Run Club. It's a lot of fun. I can't wait for the springtime when we get some nice weather.
So because you're still recording, hang on. I'm gonna just do a shout to a couple of the run clubs. All right.
List them. Absolutely.
So we got a couple run clubs in the area. First, we'll start with Dub City. The main person behind that is David St. Germain. We have the Sandwich Beer Runners with Sonia and Jason. We have Casey doing the We Ultra group. We have Ryan Allison doing the Blue Heron Blazers. We have so many other groups. I don't know who the leaders are. There's 5Ks and lattes. There is the warm-up collection. There is Amherstburg Running Club. There's a LaSalle Running Club. There's a Bell River Running Club. We have so many running clubs in this area. I am forgetting some. I apologize for that. Reach out and tell me I forgot you.
And these running clubs, welcome to the Renegade Podcast.
Follow and like.
Yeah. Subscribe. It's important for folks listening. If you enjoy the podcast, we really appreciate you following us, subscribing to our YouTube channel, putting comments in Apple Podcasts and Spotify Podcasts, and commenting on YouTube. The more we get social engagement, the more the AI and the filters push our episodes out to a larger and larger audience. And once we get a larger and larger audience, we can continue to book some great guests. We've already been blessed to get 30 guests as a small podcast that's been growing, and this is our second season, so only up from here.
Todd, I want to say congratulations on the Renegade Podcast. You and Runkle, you guys have taken this from a small dream to booking some pretty amazing guests. And just so all the listeners know, they're not making any money off of this. They're doing this for fun. This is to help you, to help them. They always say, it's an excuse to talk to people. Yeah, it's an excuse to talk to people, but they're also helping out average runners like you and me and everybody else. And who knows, they might be helping out some really good runners figure out a tip or two that they didn't know. So congratulations, Todd and Runkle. You're not here right now, but congratulations, guys. You guys have built this podcast. I don't do much on YouTube. I followed you.
That's
I
the one follower we
subscribed.
have.
Yeah, I subscribed.
That's fantastic. No, and thank you. I really appreciate that. And it's fun. Like, I think we're up to over 360 YouTube subscribers. That's amazing for a small little fun podcast that we just do once every few weeks. And on the socials, we got a lot of great traction on Apple and Spotify and wherever you listen to your podcast. We appreciate that. And you know what? We're always welcoming, like Run Club was welcoming you, Renegade welcomes you.
Yeah, and I'm always here if you guys need somebody to step in. Thanks for faking sick today, Runkle, so I could jump in here.
Thank you for listening to the Renegade Podcast.
We'd love to hear from you. Send us a note, runegadepodcast@gmail.com. That's RUNEGADE podcast@gmail.com. We'd appreciate a like and a subscribe. You can check out our YouTube channel, and you can follow us on Spotify and on Apple Podcasts. Remember, in a world of runners, be a renegade.